Am I the a-hole for telling my best friend to stop crying about not being allowed to go to the toilet on her period? So, yeah, this just happened. I, 27 male, met my best friend, 26 female, for dinner. We walk into an order at the counter restaurant, and as it was my turn to pay for dinner, she heads off to the toilet, but she's stopped on the way there by a worker who tells her that she has to ask permission to use the toilet as it's for customers only. She then gets into a mini argument where the worker told her that she simply can't barge into the toilets. At this point, my best friend asks if we can go somewhere else, and I say yes, sure. We get outside and she tells me what happened, and I respond by saying that whilst it sucks, the worker has probably got an asshole boss that is on her case about non-customers going to the bathroom, so she shouldn't take it personally. We head across the street to another place, but as we sit down, she says she's lost her appetite and asks me to order for myself, so I do. As we wait for my food, she ignores all of my attempts to start a conversation, and then, after about 5 minutes of silence, tells me I'm being incredibly patronizing and that customer service workers don't need to be rude, and that I need to have a bit of empathy for her because she's on her period. I quickly apologize and say I didn't know. More silence. Then she starts going at me again that if it was me that had experienced that she wouldn't defend the worker and that she feels like shit. And I just say, I'm sorry, can we drop it now? At which point she gets really mad, starts talking loudly at me about me being rude now and that she doesn't really care. And angrily, I just say, then stop crying about it. She gets up, tells me to enjoy my food, then leaves. FYI, she knew I canceled plans to meet her for dinner too, as she's not in town that often. Am I the a-hole here?
Am I the a-hole for getting one of my coworkers fired? I, 20 male, am a server at this restaurant, and my former coworker, Sophia, 18 female, was also a server who has gone off to college. For context, I would always make these dumb but funny jokes about babysitting Sophia considering I'm older than she is, and I've been working there longer than her, and she is barely an adult, but I still made those jokes about her when she was still 17. Honestly though, Sophia is still pretty much a baby. But anyways, around Sophia's last few days working here, I made a joke which left her embarrassed. I was making a salad, and then she came over to make one as well, and she made a joke saying that it smelled like eggs, and she asked if it was me. I told her that it was probably because her body smells like a fish. She didn't say much, and later I continued to say, "Can anyone smell something fishy?" in front of the other co-workers, and everyone laughed. But Sophia moved her hair in my face, and I said that she had lice, and everyone once again laughed. Sophia was very upset and didn't speak to me for the rest of the shift, and I tried talking to her, but she wouldn't even look at me. At one point, one of the prep cooks asked me why I treated her like that and even said that I traumatized her. The problem is that Sophia got bullied when she was in high school for these exact reasons, and I only brought back all her trauma by what I said. I didn't know though. Towards the end of our shifts, I was closing, and I thought it'd be funny to mess with Sophia by asking her if I have to babysit her again. She got really angry and told me to shut the fuck up and leave her alone. I went and told the shift lead, and she went and had a word with Sophia about how she needs to keep things professional, and our manager also had a word with her, and she got written up for talking like this. Once we were let out, she ran to her car in tears and drove home. The next day, she filed a complaint to HR and even told another manager, and I got talked to. Throughout the shift, she wouldn't speak to me. I asked if she can hand something to me. She wouldn't do it. Towards the end of the shift, I was one of the closers, and I was in charge of checking tables. She asked the other server that was closing with me to check them, and she told her to get over herself already and to ask me. In the end, she went and got the manager to check them because she wasn't going to speak to me. I was only trying to make a joke. Recently, Sophia got fired, and I haven't heard anything since. So, I'd like to know, am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for making my 18-year-old daughter buy her own period products? My 18-year-old daughter graduated a week ago. She pays rent, splits the bills with me, and pays for her own phone bill. She's a very independent young girl. As a 56-year-old woman, I'm at an age where I don't have a menstrual cycle anymore, and so I don't buy products for that purpose anymore. And so it turned out to happen when she turned 18, so it was as if it were perfect timing to stop buying them. But even if she were under 18 and I didn't have this anymore, I would stop buying them as well. Since she's 18, I feel better about not having to go out and buy them since she's at that age where she's graduated and independent. My boyfriend somehow found out that she's been using napkins she bought at the grocery store. He said that he asked her why she bought 2 packs of napkins, and she explained that she needs them for personal use and assumed it was for that. I didn't believe him at first until I asked her about it, and she explained to me that she makes homemade tampons by rolling the napkins, and she does it to save money. I have money myself, so I could go out and buy them for her, but she would need to pay me back. He asked me what I thought when I finished talking to her alone, and I said that he was right, and explained that she does it to save money. And he was furious, and said that I should be providing those for her. I told him that I no longer buy them because I no longer use them. Because when I did, I would share, but now, especially because she's 18, she can buy her own. I know she's my daughter, but the support has to stop sometime. The reason my boyfriend was furious was because she got her thing and found out there were no products left, so she had to use napkins, and now she only uses those. This is her own issue to deal with, and she has no problem being self-sufficient. She's been 18 for several months. Am I the a-hole?
Would I be the asshole if I gave my son what he wants for his birthday? Am I the asshole for refusing to make my son, who will be 10 in May, share a birthday party with my niece by marriage? My husband and I have been together for 7 years, and in those 7 years, I asked my son if he minded doing a shared party with my niece, to which he always said he didn't mind, and I normally pay for the entire party myself. But their birthdays are days apart, and my MIL has custody of her granddaughter. So I have always asked if they wanted to do the party together, and she always says yes, and then something happens, and she can't cover her half of the party. So I just pay for it to keep the peace. Well, this week I asked my son what he wants for his party this year, and his only response was to have his own party because you only turned 10 once, to which I said, okay, done my MIL asked today, what are plans? Was for their party for this year, to which I replied that he wants his own party, but I hadn't set any plans in place yet. And she asked why, because it's not fair for him to get a party without her. And I told her that's what he asked for, and we hung up the phone, and she called my husband to tell him what I had said. And now my husband is mad and says my son, his stepson, is spoiled and a brat. And if he doesn't want to share a party, he can't have one at all. So would I be an asshole if I planned his party without the niece or my husband?
Am I the a-hole for leaving my friend's birthday after she made me wait an hour? As the title says, my 21 female friend, let's call her Maddie, invited me, 21 years old, to hang out for her birthday. Long story short, on this day, I told my friend that I will be busy up until our meeting time, which was supposed to be 7 p.m. Anyway, I texted her before and I asked her to let me know when to come so I can leave my outing and come see her whenever she becomes fully available. I asked her if I should come right now, and this was at 6:50 p.m. And I would have been there at 7. She said, yes, come right now and text me when you're here. I arrive around 7 and I go inside the lobby. I text her that I'm there and that I'm sitting and waiting. She doesn't open my message for 10 mins. And then she texts me saying that she is still busy with some people because she went to this gathering. I just said, okay. Then 10 minutes pass, 20 minutes pass. And she texts me again saying she's so sorry she was busy showing people around. At this point, I'm fed up. I came to see her and she told me to come at that time. And she was so inconsiderate knowing I was waiting for her in the lobby while she was showing people around. I waited and I waited and I waited for up to an hour until I had enough. And I texted her that I'm going home. I left, and I was really hurt that she prioritized showing people around over her friend who came to see her and waited that long for her. So am I the asshole for leaving my friend's birthday?
Thanks for watching. Comment this emoji if you watched till the end.